Dun, And I think we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm still trying to wake up from that boring show last night. This is La
Yeah.
BIRRIA. Here's the mark of all marks. Got the inspired Michele here. Gonna review SmackDown Live from August 20th. And I like jumping straight to it. Overall, I want to give this show a D plus. Pretty underwhelming show. Um, Only a couple matches. The storylines, I didn't mind that they were going with a lot of promos. They're pushing for a lot of the stories, but I felt like a lot of the content that they were giving everybody to talk about was boring or it just wasn't attracting at all. Like a lot of the promos, like Charlotte usually gives good promos, but what she was talking about sounded so robotic. Like, I am the queen of the new era because, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely underwhelming.
What did you
And
think, Edgar?
definitely Alexa Bliss should have whooped on her.
That's we'll get to that. We'll get to that part. But how would you grade the whole show?
I gave it a C plus.
Yeah.
It just was very boring. Some of the matches were great. It felt like it was not a lot of matches, but a lot of just promos.
Yeah.
So, and they
Felt
didn't
like a
impress me
Bischoff
very
show.
much.
The only match that was decent was the Buddy Murphy one and the Andrade, like always.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else was a quick, nonsensical match. So to open up the show, you had Randy Orton come out and spit a promo, which is always a good promo. Even Randy Orton actually cares now. He's a heel, so
Yeah.
he
Man,
actually putting
all I know is
emotion in his
that
promos.
Yeah.
he called Kofi stupid again, right?
Yeah, over and over. He's like, you know what? This happened because Kofi's stupid. Xavier Woods got hurt because Kofi's stupid. Eventually, the New Day music hits, and Randy's getting ready, and from out of nowhere, Trouble in Paradise from behind on Randy Orton.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then the revival comes out to help him, and Kofi hits them with chairs.
Yeah, and that was
Because
pretty
he's
much it.
stupid.
Then they all skedaddled out the ring together.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
because
really
Kofi's
good.
stupid.
What did you say?
Because Kofi's stupid.
I like the back and forth that they have going on. I like how they're hyping up this match. I think they're doing a really good job with that. That was a great way to start off the show. And then it kind of
You
went
know what?
downhill from there.
Yeah, I agree with that exact same notion. It was anytime I see Randy give a crap about what he's doing, it's gonna always end up great. And now I'm actually wanting to see a Clash of Champions. I feel like they're gonna somehow write off Big E next, probably in the next couple weeks. So Kofi goes into Clash of Champions alone and has to face FTR KO all by himself, and then
You
he
know what they could do?
loses. So
Oh no, but this guy Xavier's already hurt, right?
yeah,
Yes.
I
well,
was gonna say,
they haven't really said anything, but yeah, from what we saw, it looks like they wrote him off of TV.
man, because I was gonna say, why don't they just have 6-man tag, winner takes all?
Oh, they do have the belts here, right?
Maybe because they did set up for
Yeah,
a New
Big
revival.
Day
time.
versus Revival.
Yeah, so okay, that actually makes sense.
Could happen.
That wouldn't that
And then
wouldn't that wouldn't shock me. They do that at Clash of Champions either.
let Randy and the revival win.
Um,
See that? Like when they win this tag team championship match, I mean, the belts, they actually deserved it. Not the one when it was in that triple threat against the Usos and all that.
You got to get over it, Julian.
Yeah,
You got to move on.
So next we had Andrade versus Apollo Crews. And
We
what did
had
you
a
get?
Roman recap in the
Oh
middle
yeah. You know, I forgot a lot of the small segments here.
for
So
the 18,659th time. That's what I. That's what I feel like we've seen that same recap over and over and over and over
yeah,
again.
the same interview, the same,
I can't
same,
see you,
same,
Michelle.
same. And you know what? I was actually starting to get interested in this thing. And then, as everybody knows, we'll get to it eventually, though. It got ruined.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I
I mean
can't
they
see
keep
Michelle.
pushing it. And you can't see me,
No.
Louis. Can you see me? Yeah, you
I
can't
could
see me.
see.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just
the
had
way that they keep pushing it, and it's a great storyline. It really is. I feel like they're just forcing it a little bit too much, and then yeah, the end. We'll get to the end.
So
But
next was the Andrade match, right?
Amazing.
well, you have Andrade and Zelina walking, and then you have the Shane KO promo
Oh, they did cut
where
to backstage.
yeah, KO goes in to Shane and he says, man to man, father to father, can you please lift this fine? And Shane agrees to think about it.
Man, that made Kevin Owens look so soft, in my opinion. It's like you're supposed to be making him the next Stone Cold, and then he goes and asks for forgiveness because of some money. What the hell? I don't care about his personal life. I'm being honest. I don't care if he has money to feed his kids or not. I care about the character of the wrestler, Kevin Owens. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I felt like that was just a terrible way to move with his character. The way that they're trying to build him up, it goes against it. But I guess it's set up for the turn later on. Not that anybody couldn't see that coming, but I don't know.
What
Oh
turn
yeah,
for who?
We'll get to it.
we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. So we have the first bracket for the King of the Ring for SmackDown. Andrade versus Apollo Crews. Ridiculously excited for this match. I've been a huge Apollo Crews fan since he first came to
What?
WWE. Absolutely, he's amazing. And of course, Andrade, who puts on a stellar performance every single time he gets in the ring. I don't know how he does it. He's amazing.
That's the
This is
future.
definitely, yeah, he is. Definitely a wrestling clinic. This is what everybody should watch as what they should be doing in the ring. It was perfect from start to finish. It was a great pace. Everything was believable. It was smooth. It was a nice back and forth. Then you had Andrade take over. He had control for a little while. Then Apollo turns it around. He did the Olympic slam, which was really cool.
Oh man.
That
And
should
that
have been a
standing
squash
shooting
match.
star press. No, it should
Yeah,
not have been
I
a
was.
squash match.
No, I like this match. This was a good
Yeah.
match. I gave it a B plus.
Yeah, I gave it an A because the two of them are just so good. You don't want a squash match for King of the Ring brackets. These are
Yeah.
supposed to be top tier wrestlers. You don't want a squash match. You want them to really display their talent, which
I gave
happened.
them. I gave it a B, but I don't really like. I'm not too fond of Apollo Crews.
That
Oh, he
standing
lost.
shooting
So
star press was he. Come on,
yeah,
he's awesome.
he got a nice move set. That's something I like
Our
about him.
truth
He's
is
he's not
better.
he doesn't do the typical, hey, I'm gonna do the same thing that guy and this guy do because that's what makes people pop. No, he's like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing and get reactions that
Yep.
way. I
Yeah.
like it. The only reason I didn't give it an A though is I like Zelina and I like Andrade, but it's just starting to become typical and repetitive and redundant when Zelina interferes, and that's starting to get It's
Yeah.
gonna start to get annoying. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know,
can understand that.
I don't mind seeing her out there at all. It's just what she does every single time. You know.
Yeah. She should be used a little more sporadically for getting him wins.
Yeah.
He's still the
Next,
idolo.
who?
He's the
Ido,
idolo.
Idela. I don't know how to say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Idolo.
They say it in the beginning of his music.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means the idol.
Oh, like LeBron James.
Yeah, man, he's bogus. Speaking of LeBron, know why?
That's a conversation for another day.
Nah,
Yeah.
right now, we're gonna have it since you said LeBron James. All right, so he's
Michael
bogus
Jordan is the real GOAT.
Oh man.
because okay, so you know the banana boat party, the four buddy friends, brothers, and all that.
No.
LeBron, Wade, Melo, and CP3. The boat
Yeah.
banana.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll get to
all right.
that. We'll talk about that another day. Let's talk about Alexa Bliss and her moment of
It's
bliss.
beautiful.
So you had Elias and Drake Maverick.
Oh gosh. See, that's how bad of a show it was. I'm missing a lot.
Yeah, it was a quick backstage. Elias is walking, he's playing his guitar. He sees a guy, turns him around, takes off the hat, takes off the jacket, sees that it's a referee. Drake Maverick is hiding in something. I don't know if it was a garbage
Dumpster.
thing or dumpster. Yeah, something. And Elias gives him the paper to read that says that the 24/7 rule has been suspended for the night so that he could concentrate on his match with Kevin Owens.
Gosh, I hate Shane McMahon, but I love Elias, and it's getting it. I don't. Anytime somebody's with Shane McMahon, I start to dislike him every week. I miss
Hey,
Elias coming out and just trashing the city he's in and making everybody chant WWE stands for Walk with Elias. I miss those. I don't mind
I do
seeing that
too.
every week.
I do too. He reminds me a lot of Rick Rude when he'd just come out and trash the city.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Nice.
So
What did you think, Edgar?
I don't know, but I know that it's funny and cool watching Elias beat Drake Maverick.
yes, it was hysterical. And at the
He's
end,
not
Drake's
for
like, I just want to consummate my marriage.
yeah.
It's
Oh
great.
man, Drake Maverick is gold. So they're lucky they got him doing the
Yeah.
24/7 stuff.
And you know what? I feel like a segment like that, even though it's small, it was just enough to keep your interest peaked in the 24/7 without having
Yeah.
another title change and keep everybody vested into it. So
And that's what we need every single not every week, but you know every other week or every 3 weeks you can change the hands. But
Right.
I would like to see somebody who's like somebody like a Braun Strowman. Like what if Braun Strowman was to get his hands on 24/7 title? Nobody's going to take it off him for a while, you know. And that'd be interesting to see a bunch of people trying to get the monster among men. Even though he got
he's a
bunch of
tag
gold.
team champion now.
Yeah, that guy.
The best.
Next, we had the moment of bliss, and this is where my annoyance skyrocketed. She brought out Charlotte Flair, and the first thing Charlotte talked about was herself, which is typical. And then she talked about how she wants to be a champion again, and I was like, oh, I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my god, here we go again. How does WWE not realize they have tons of other women sitting there? Give Sonya Deville a singles push. After that performance she did on yesterday or Monday, I didn't know she had a spine buster in her at all. Gosh, that could be.
Right?
Yeah, she's coming up with moves every single week. Put her. You got Oscar
Yeah.
Kyrie Sane, and
No.
this was the he's such a hater. This is the only time we really got to see the women of the night because then Bailey comes out, interrupts, and
Ooh.
accepts Charlotte Flair's challenge at Clash of Champions, Night of Champions, whatever it's going to be called. And it's going to be a disaster. I think the only cool part about it was the push Bailey gave Charlotte that actually looked legit. Charlotte didn't expect it at all. You know, it didn't look.
Yeah.
It looked real. So that was,
Yeah.
I guess, the only good thing about it. Other than that, I hated everything about it because they literally talked about nothing else. They're just rambling. I was like, okay. I want to hear maybe Alexa Bliss talk about, oh, we're going to defend our belts. We're going to go here. I don't know. Something. But I just felt like whatever they were talking about at the moment was just so stupid and nothing.
Yeah,
What
it
would you
was
do?
very boring.
What would I do? I would have the Kabuki Warriors beat
Nah.
Alexa.
No.
And I would have
No.
Sonya Deville face Bailey.
No and yes. No to the Kabuki Warriors and yes to Sonya Deville. But nah, I'm saying, what would you do if like Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch or Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville or Carmella? What would you do if they interfere in the match and whoop on all of them? And Bailey and Charlotte.
I mean, nothing. There's nothing to do. Just a DQ and a waste of a match. Waste of a
And
pay-per-view
then add
slot.
them into a triple threat or something. Yeah.
They would have to pull a good storyline for
I
me
really
to
don't
get into
like
that.
women's triple threat matches. I think that the women have a hard enough time pulling off just regular matches.
You know
Triple threat is just too hard for them.
it feels like it feels scripted, shall I say,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anything.
Mm.
Yeah, the flow is not right
Yeah.
with the women in a
So,
triple threat match.
I mean, Becky proved wrong. Becky whooped on Charlotte and Ronda.
That match
Yeah.
wasn't all that. It didn't even end right.
Yeah.
Screw you. It was a good match, but
And you can see that Ronda Rousey, I was never really a big fan of hers because she just was terrible in the ring, and she needed Charlotte and Becky to kind of put her over and help her out in the ring, and she still messed up on so many occasions. I don't know. I don't like it. But I'm a little aggravated because, like you said, there's so many women that they could put in a match against Bailey. And even if they wanted them to lose to keep the Bailey streak going, at least it could be an interesting match. Charlotte, I think it's just, we've seen this over and over and over again. And I have this funny feeling she's going to get the belt for the 500th time.
Gosh.
And
well, that was as much. Yeah, it's gonna ruin a lot if she gets the belt. I'm not interested in it all.
Yeah.
But the best thing about that was following up with this. If there was any promos, was the Daniel Bryan and Buddy Murphy match, which to me was the match of the night, which is my favorite thing about this entire SmackDown episode, because going in expectation is, okay, Buddy Murphy's this new guy, Daniel Bryan's going to win either by a screwy finish because of Rowan or, a cheap roll-up. And we got the complete opposite of that. We got Buddy Murphy completely going off. I love how everything is starting with everybody just rushing each other now. Everybody's just straight bull rushing each other. And it's showing that they want it. It's actually showing that it's something worth going for every single time.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good match, back and forth wrestling, and then Buddy Murphy ends with the win with his special move, Murphy's Law, which I love. Really good special move. Hit a brain buster on him also. And to me, it was an A+ match. It couldn't get any better. Good storyline in and out because they had history before the match, and then even after the match, there was an interview
Yes.
that led backstage, and they completely attacked him. So perfect in my
Roman should have
opinion.
came in and helped them out.
Oh, come on, I don't want to see Roman. Roman needs to stay on whatever show they want him to stay on.
I agree. I think it was an A+ match. I love that Buddy Murphy won. I especially love that he beat Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan did get into roll-ups, but Buddy Murphy kicked out of them, and that had me hyped because
Yeah.
I thought for sure Daniel Bryan was going to win like that, but it was great. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And like you said, with the storyline going in and coming out, perfect.
Couldn't ask for anything better. To me,
Yep.
this was the highlight of the night, and it's the whole story of the night.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah, I low key already knew Buddy was gonna win, especially as soon as I seen him do the what was that move that he did that you said?
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law.
Oh my god,
Nah,
that movie.
before that one, that move is good though.
Yeah.
Oh, the Braid Buster.
Brainbuster.
I
Okay.
was like, that the way he did it on Daniel Bryan, and then how
um,
he was attacking Eric Rowan too.
yeah, he said
Yeah.
he beat him up from interfering, messed him up from interfering in the match. So it just Buddy Murphy went strong. He went over the entire time. So really good. Thank God. Thank God they
Yes.
did. Hopefully they don't ruin that. Next, I had the Revival come out and basically recap on the what happened on Monday Night Raw with Xavier Woods, and they got interrupted by wherever the hell these guys been, Heavy Machinery.
The heavy machinery.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't even watch the match, so I couldn't really grade it because I could. This is my pee break, and when I came back, it was done.
Yeah, it was a rather quick match. I thought it was a really good match. Heavy Machinery seemed to really be taking it to the Revival. They looked strong the whole match. I loved when both guys from Heavy Machinery had both guys from the Revival up in the air. That old school move. Love that. I thought there was a little bit of irony to that because that is kind of a very old school move. And the Revival's always talking about how,
Oh,
they don't like Heavy Machinery because they mess around and old school wrestling. And so that was a cute little twist that I picked up on that I liked.
nice.
But they had this really interesting and strange combo for the Revival to win. And they wound up getting almost a roll up for the win.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So who won?
the Revival did.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Is there any segments after this? Because I have the Miss TV segment.
Yes, there was the Chad Gable interview in the back where he's
Oh.
talking about how he, being told he would never be good enough and all this other stuff. And you kind of see Shelton Benjamin in the locker room and he's kind of like peering out and then he's looking out again. And then he puts this sign on the door and he kind of like slips away. So when Chad Gable is done with the interview, he teases his change, this shorty G that we're supposed to get. God knows. And he's like, it's all about opening up people's eyes. So I'm going to open up some eyes. And he turns around to go into the locker room and there's the sign. And it says, you must be this tall to enter the King of the Ring.
Oh my gosh.
Priceless. I love these things because you know what? They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. They build up the storyline and they're just hysterical.
I'm glad
And
they're both getting used. They're getting on TV.
Yeah. And it should be interesting because it is going to be Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, who were tag team partners, um,
Yeah.
in the next bracket.
So they're facing each other in the next bracket.
Yeah,
Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow, I didn't even know that. So that should be
yeah,
good. That should be a good story because they know each other. They know how each other are. They're a tag team, you know.
yeah. The Shorty G thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, even my husband was saying, do people nowadays even know what a shorty is? Because like back in our day, it was a little hose beast. You know, it was one
Like
of
a
like
what?
a little hose beast, like
What?
a little slut bag.
Oh,
Next, I had the Miss TV with Sami Zayn, which shocked me.
that was
Why
Yeah,
bad.
Sami Zayn coming out, you know? And long story short, he's talking about he feels like his new role in the company should be helping people, and in order for him to help somebody, he has to, in other words, manage them. Out comes the Intercontinental Champion that we haven't seen. I don't remember the last time I seen him.
I think
Shinsuke
it was a
Nakamura.
pre-show. I think it was
Yeah,
a paper pre-show.
and God, I was excited. I'm excited for this. This he got a mouthpiece now, so now he can just have somebody do the talking. Which Sami Zayn has great promo work, so that's gonna
Yeah,
be good. And Shinsuke needs some contenders, and Miz is somebody who actually made the Intercontinental Championship prestigious at one point before he lost it to the horrible Roman Reigns,
Hey, hey,
and
hey,
then
hey.
completely derailed the title. Just
yeah,
Nah.
saying, just saying. So I don't care who ends up winning this feud because it's an obvious feud that's coming up,
yeah.
The
and
Miz is gonna win and he's gonna tie with Chris Jericho finally.
I think they're gonna put him over Jericho just because of this whole AEW situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this promo it was a little weird, like you said. We were like, why is Sami Zayn coming out? But it was perfect. It was
Oh yeah.
perfect. And then you have Shinsuke attack the Miz at the end. It was brilliant. And yes, Miz for an Intercontinental Championship run again. I am all for.
You got some? You want to chime in before I move on, Edgar? I got next time. I got this horrible Elias match. No, okay. So
No.
we got my first F of the night, Kevin Owens versus Elias. And this is an F. It was a good match at first, good story, you know. I was aiming for like a C plus, low B minus. And then you had Shane McMahon take his shirt off and he was a ref. I was like, oh my God. He's going to screw Kevin Owens out of this King of the Ring
Yeah.
turn. So the brackets, I don't know what they're gonna do to make it come back because this is 2 weeks in a row where they do those types of pins, and that's ridiculous. Kevin Owens had no chance in hell to win it all. So I don't know. I gave it an F. I didn't even want to think about what was gonna happen or whatever happened.
So
I
then
walked
now,
away.
so
So
now I have either King Andrade or King Samoa Joe.
McIntyre.
Nah.
Okay, so let the inspiring Michelle put some light on this match for you.
All right,
You
let's see.
have to expect, right, that Shane is going to interfere because you want to keep this storyline going. They are running with KO being the new Stone Cold with the stunner and everything, and they're going for this kind of revamp of Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for Shane to be doing this. Vince is too old. He can't really get involved the way that he used to. So you've got to have somebody. So Shane is kind of trying to walk in his footsteps. And although he's no Vince McMahon, I do think he's the right person to try to turn people like The Miz and people like KO babyface because you can't help but hate every single thing about Shane McMahon. So anything he does to these guys, they're gonna get the babyface love,
Yeah.
and that's the point. So, Kevin Owens doesn't need King of the Ring because he's got such a great storyline going right now.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it's not bad as far as sticking with the story. I'm
glad.
telling you, this is going to lead to a really, really big match between KO and Shane. That's going to be a phenomenal match because Shane is crazy and will do everything in a match and put on a great show. And when Kevin Owens finally does beat him and get over, it's going to be huge.
I hope so. I'm glad you're finding some positivity in there because I'm already out the door running away from that. Just that storyline.
Everybody wanted the Attitude Era back, and they give you a storyline that is straight from the Attitude Era that built the Attitude Era. And everybody's like, no.
I just don't want to see Shane. I would like to see Kevin Owens go at it with like Triple H or Eric Bischoff debuts with some type of huge minion or something. I don't know. That would be a way for him to build up Lars Sullivan if he ever comes back. I just can't stand Shane at all. So that's my problem. Well, who can? But whatever. And right after this entire segment, it cut right to the main attraction of the show, what everybody's been dying for about a month now. What's going on with Roman Reigns? Who's hurting Roman Reigns?
You know
Daniel
who I thought
Bryan.
it was?
Who?
Like every time they would show dude messing with his hands or whatever, doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I thought it was Brock Lesnar, just because of the way he was set up, like how he was sat down.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
I
would
thought it
have
was
been a
Brock
better.
Lesnar.
That would have
Yeah.
been a better storyline.
So before I reveal who it was, what did you think? Who did you think before was Michelle? Before we got our culprit, what was your prediction?
I knew it was going to be a nobody because I do believe that Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan are behind it. So I knew that it was going to be somebody that they just kind of bullied into, or forcing them to admit that it was them against their will. I didn't think that it was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
But I was kind of, I had like flashbacks of, does anybody remember the WCW Phantom or the Black Scorpion? Those storylines? Okay, so you had Ric Flair as the Black Scorpion, and you had Rick Rude as the WCW Phantom, and it was kind of just the same thing. They were all dressed in black. They had like hoods over their faces and masks over their faces, and they had these storylines of these people coming out, and I'm pretty sure both of them were against Sting. And it had like flashbacks. So I was hoping that it would be somebody big. Because when you finally got these guys in the ring and you finally found out who was taunting Sting and who was doing all of this, and then they took the mask off and it's Ric Flair, The Phantom, it was a little more obvious because you could see Rude's stash through it, but it was that similar concept. So I was having these flashbacks and I'm thinking, wow, this has got to be somebody big, somebody good, maybe it's a comeback, somebody we haven't seen in a while, maybe a legend, something.
Like who would you want?
I don't know.
I was actually thinking it was gonna be Luke Harper and a type of like mini Bludgeon Brothers / Wyatt family reunion. Something like that. To me that was the only logical thing. Whoever the hell this guy was.
Right.
Because now we're revealing that it was some random doppelganger guy who looked exactly like Eric Rowan.
It was an old man with a fake beard, an obviously fake beard.
Yeah, and for those of you who are in BTV, It is Solon Allen. We know it was you. We're coming for you, brother. We're coming for you.
Nah, but I don't know why, but Rowan, Brian, and Buddy Murphy, they all look alike. Like they could be each other's cousins, brother, father.
Because they all have red beards.
That, the red hair, pretty much it.
So my last note on to wrap this up, I want to say that WWE has taken two storylines, in my opinion, that were the most attracting ones, with the Kevin Owens and the Roman Reigns angle, and I think they botched both. And I'm not interested in either anymore because the outcome. Maybe I'm being a negative Nancy, which most of the time I am, but I'm not. I think that this Kevin Owens feud is ruined for me, and Roman Reigns storyline is now dumb. Unless it's somehow they need to swerve me at this point. I'm still gonna continue to watch because I love wrestling, but because I watch, I can talk smack. So
Nah,
that's
but
that's my opinion on everything.
I don't think that the Kevin Owens storyline was botched just because, like I said, I have, again, I'm old school. And, for a lot of you guys, you came in maybe towards the end of the Attitude Era. But for me, I've been watching since, the, the dog days of the Attitude Era before it got
yeah,
good. I've
yeah.
seen some crazy and some boring and some weird stuff. Um,
That medium
it,
was weird.
the Kevin Owens line, I think the way that they're doing this, like I said earlier, is going to build up to something amazing. I think it's headed in the right direction. We need this. You know, WWE is kind of taking a turn. Everybody was complaining that stories are going too quickly and there's not enough build up and there's not enough, passion behind the story. They're starting
Yeah,
to really put more effort into making these storylines longer, and that's what gives it the meat and bones. That's what gets you really. I mean, unfortunately, people already hate Shane so much that maybe
yeah,
it's a little redundant, and I can kind of understand that. But as far as really pushing Kevin Owens into this babyface role, this new role, if you remember Stone Cold and Vince, the whole Mr. McMahon thing, that went on for quite a while.
Give
yeah.
me
You're
what I
right.
want.
You
That
got
too, that's a
you got.
progressing. But I do believe that the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns thing, that was definitely botched. I think that they could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
At least
You
get a
know, I
guy who
think,
can wrestle.
What do you think,
yeah,
Edgar?
nah. I think it's still gonna be like towards the end. I think it's still gonna be Daniel Bryan
Oh,
and
I'm sure,
Ro-
but I'm sure it
Yeah.
is. But at this point, you should you should have just revealed who the hell it was. But at this point,
If you don't want to reveal who it is, like I said, get a wrestler, maybe somebody that's had a beef with Roman in the past or something that Daniel Bryan and Rowan kind of bullied into saying that they did it when they didn't,
yeah,
and keep it
the
going that
whole.
way. Some random dude who can't wrestle and there's no point to it, like at least swerve us a little bit. If it was Brock, if it was somebody he had, Luke Harper or something, you could kind of run with that storyline for a little while. You could get a couple good weeks
yeah.
out of that.
Yeah, with the
Agreed.
Brock, it'll lead into the whole how he did Seth Rollins. Roman could like get mad about that and then want to attack Brock and all that.
Like it's
Yeah,
Brock that he's mad that he lost to Roman Reigns a couple times or because of their feuds in the past. And then swerve you and nope, it's not really him. He was just helping them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
he
see
might
what
help me
happens
with
next week.
Skype.
Hopefully, next week's storylines improve. And
Yes.
Husky Harris said, can someone help me with my Skype, please?
oh man, I was just about to give the outro. Harry, next time, man. Next time. You got Monday Night Raw review and SmackDown Live review next week. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and joining us. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and hit up BTB. We got some good stuff coming. I'm trying to get in contact with Tim. He's so busy now. So, thanks, everybody. Deuces.
Good night.